Hey y'all, the real Jimmy Roberts 1 here. On this channel, we are dedicated to examining the phenomenon of both UFOs and USOs, unidentified flying objects and unidentified submarine objects. Now, regarding the subject, obviously there's been countless hoaxes perpetrated for over half a century. But what about those that are not hoaxes? You know, the ones where people have documented actual objects that are moving through the sky or in space. We don't know what they are. And sometimes they're moving onto land or into the oceans with no apparent means of conventional propulsion. What's up with that? Now, could these be secret aircraft developed by the governments of the world, or do they belong to advanced non-human biological entities from other worlds? Or could it be a combination of both, or perhaps something else? Really, the simple questions are, what are these things and who is flying them? No one is giving us solid answers, and we really don't know who to trust anyway, do we? In 2019, I uploaded a video on my original channel regarding images sent to me by a couple who took pictures and video during the solar eclipse of 2017 in Mt Shasta, Washington. Now, you can watch that particular production for details. But essentially, what I did was take those images of the lights that appeared in the sky and work them to see if we were lucky enough to catch a glimpse of the physical bodies to which these lights were attached. And man, did we get lucky. Now take a look at this, and as opposed to my telling you what I think is going on, why don't you tell me what you think is going on? Now, there's other types of weird phenomena seen at night that's reported by a lot of people. It's often described as a hovering light that at times breaks into several separate parts that seem to dance around each other before forming back into one seemingly solid airborne structure. Now, on June 21st of this year, someone I know personally sent me a video. Now, the previous night around 12:30 a.m., right here in Northeast Texas, he and several family members witnessed what they originally mistook as the moon glowing brightly above them, until it began to behave in the manner I just described. The following night, around the same time, they saw it again, and this time, someone captured it on their cell phone. Now, you should know a few things here. The cell camera was hard to keep steady. You can understand that. So there was a lot of movement in the video. Now, we took various sections and steadied it the best we could. Now, this is slowed down 80%. But what I find most interesting is how there does seem to be, at times, I believe, perhaps 5 separate glowing objects. Sometimes, yes, seeming to move about themselves. Now, it wasn't long ago that I was out in my own yard after dark when I noticed a dull yellow light moving slowly overhead. No sound. I watched it a while and then, it was bright enough that I felt it was local. In other words, not a satellite or even something traveling at airliner altitude, unless it was very large. It didn't seem so, though. So I took a few pictures with my cell phone of the light. And with just a little work, I was able to bring forth this with a little brightness and contrast work. So what's up with that? Now tell me, have you ever known anyone who at one time actually worked as, say, a high-level engineer or scientist within a space program, such as NASA or the ESA, or perhaps for a contractor, such as the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and who would, at times, perhaps feed you a few things if you asked? Well, what if they suggested that the majority of these UFOs and USOs that we see are actually part of something they call the Living Terrestrial Intelligence, or the LTI, and that the LTI is comprised of numerous groups of displaced non-human biological entities residing on, in, or very near to Earth? And what if it was suggested that there's one specific group not belonging to the LTI that is considered as perhaps the only group that lends humans a helping hand of any sort? Could this be true? I mean, who would do that? It's hard for me to fathom any advanced race looking out for us. We continue to damage our planet. We constantly wage war against our own selves. We enslave our own people. We have corruption at every level of our governments. I mean, if we are truly fortunate enough to receive assistance from anyone out there, well, there must be some deep-rooted history behind it. That's all I can say. Just say for argument that it's true. Are these a few of the flying craft that we see as well? But we have saucers of various styles that we see, cigar-shaped craft, triangles, and let's not forget this. We pulled straight from the NASA archives several years ago, and this does qualify as an unidentified flying object. So I ask you, who is flying this thing? Folks, help us to investigate this ongoing mystery. Send us your images and video of unidentified flying and submarine objects to the email address listed in the video description. Mark your header as UFO or USO and include an account of some type as to who, what, when, and where, please. And, if it looks worthwhile, hey, we'll be contacting you. If we decide to share your images or videos, we will keep your names confidential unless otherwise directed by you. So hopefully we'll hear from you and we'll put a show together, and then we'll be right back here. See you then.